Killa Kela Podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
This is the sound of the Killa Kela Beatbox Body Part Sample Pack. Over 120 loops, samples, and one-shots for your music production. Exclusively on Splice.
Killa Kela in the mix, the bass with mix.
That music and beatbox mix.
Mixcloud. Streaming on Mixcloud.
How you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Killa Kela Podcast coming to you live and direct from Sherman Wood, isn't it?
No, you're in Sherman Oaks.
Sherman Oak.
Damn close, though. You got wood on your mind, I get it. You're all right.
We're in the house with Enzo Amore AKA Real1. Two-time Cruiserweight champion, tag team champion, WWE. And we are...
No tag team championship.
Uh-huh.
Just solo act, kid.
Just solo.
Two-time Cruiserweight champ.
There it is.
How you doing?
We are... We're eating pizza at the moment.
Yeah, tell them what kind of pizza we're eating.
Right, so what we got going on here at the moment is a thin crust, cheese.
No, you are backwards today, y'all.
Oh, hold on, hold on. It's stuffed crust cheese.
Stuffed crust or bust?
Stuffed crust or but yeah, but the bottom is nice and crispy.
This thing is cooked to perfection.
It's cooked to perfection.
It is. It is. I'm a little flabbergasted by the fact that you haven't got your socks knocked off by that thing. You still got your socks on right now. You got a pair of shoes on. I'm surprised, bro. I'm surprised that hasn't knocked your socks right off, dude. I know that. I've been to London. Plenty. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact you guys ain't got no shit like this.
What, on this? No. This is amazing.
You got Domino's.
This is amazing. But this is like...
I've never had a stuffed crust pizza in London.
This here is like...
I don't know if you have it. Maybe you do.
We have stuffed crust. We have...
You got stuffed crust over there, yeah?
You got the dip going on as well.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, we've got the stuffed crust. But, we're like Pizza Hut. That's all that and Pizza Express. And, this isn't...
This is Pizza Hut, man.
This is Pizza Hut?
It's got to be, baby.
It's very good. Doesn't taste like
Listen, Pizza Hut is an American pastime at this point.
That's why it's cooked so well.
It's like baseball, man.
Yeah.
We Americans, we like Pizza Hut.
That's why it's cooked so well. It's because you've constantly evolved into its, to the finest inch of detail. Cooked to perfection.
As if pizza wasn't good enough, they had to go ahead and stuff the crust with cheese.
I know. It's just like
These
another
guys
level.
are just fucking knocking it out of the park.
I mean, some would say it's fucked up, but it's fucked up in such a good way.
It's great, man.
It's good now.
Hell yeah.
So what's going on? What's happening? What's happening with you? You was out last night, weren't you? You was out.
I was out last night parading around the town. We ate dinner at Boa, went to the Rainbow Room, and we went to Poppy.
Which Rainbow Room? In Sunset?
Rainbow Room is on Sunset Boulevard.
Dude, that's like my favourite spot on the planet.
That's your favorite spot?
Dude, I was there for dinner yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Dude, you should have hollered at me. Oh, we would have been down there like a shot, dude.
Yeah, I like the Rainbow Room. I like the prestige of it.
Me too.
The history, the John Lennons, the Yoko Ono.
Yeah.
Stories.
The Lemmys, the
Lemmy always hanging out in there. Yeah, up until just, a year or two ago. And then, they say that they have AA meetings for celebrities at the bar. So Alcoholic Anonymous.
You're kidding
me.
me.
Come to the bar, guys.
yeah. We'll meet here.
Ozzy Osbourne and Alice Cooper. I think I don't exactly know the names.
That's incredible.
I can't sit here and act like I do, but I've heard the stories.
That's amazing. So they were just right. You know what? This is the thing. It's an institution, isn't it? I guess they got to give back to the people that they get addicted to what they provide as a service. Giving back to the community.
I would suppose so. I just think it's their favorite place to go.
Yeah.
Makes them feel like they're having a drink, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Them guys, at Rainbow Room upstairs, I mean, if the walls could talk, geez Louise.
Dude.
Jeez Louise.
Well, my lady came over the other day and she went straight to Raymond. She goes, this place feels like it's haunted in a good way. It feels like the walls are talking.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
That place is itself a legend, dude. Lore.
Yeah. So yeah, so you into your rock and roll?
So let me ask, while you've been here, have you performed at all? Do you have any plans? You hear that? Even his sneezes sound like he's hitting a bump box noise. You know, this guy's beatboxing over here when he sneezes.
That's the sample right there. That's the article. That's the article sample. Yeah, you know what? I jumped up at the Rainbow the other night. I jumped up with the band. The band were like, "What's going on?" And then I just got off. I was way drunk, but I did all right. And then the drummer came in. He goes, "Please tell me your name. What's your name?" And then the crowd was clapping and stuff. And I was like, "It's Killa Kela, Killa Kela." So Killa Kela, you know. And then they wanted me to go back on again. Yeah, it was nice, you know, because I grew up on that shit, you know. It's good.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
We're sitting at Blake's crib right now.
Yeah, live and direct.
Live and direct from Sherman Oaks.
Mutual friends.
Blake Lewis kid.
Yeah, man. And
Blake Lewis has some incredible things in this room. Like a animal from the Muppets holding drumsticks, life size.
He's a massive 80s fan. So he's got loads of kind of...
As you guys would say, quality.
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 And how often do you go to London?
I've been there probably about 6 times now.
Yeah?
5 or 6 times now, yeah.
Competing as well as holiday?
Well, I mean, if you want to call it competing, we can call it that, but I call it pretend fighting with my friends.
I respect that.
Yeah, it was funny, man.
Hey, dude, I ain't fucking around. Like, some of the levels of acrobatics and memory and skill and precision, like, dude, WWE, all those... Can't fuck with that. You can't fuck with that.
It's a global audience that's unlike any other, man. We have the best fans in the world when I was there, and I'm lucky that, you know, I was afforded that opportunity with that company.
Yeah.
Because, man, when I tell you that we have I have the best fans in the world. I honestly might think I'd put my fans up against anybody, any other celebrity or wrestler or anybody. I mean, I got kids that dress up and wear these crazy, ridiculous outfits and dye their hair like mine and do my dance and buy my wig, and it's just crazy. It's crazy. It's a movie.
I posted, because we was out the other week in Venice, right? And I posted our Insta story, because there's you and me in the story, and I posted it on Facebook, and the amount of my friends that knew who you were, which is like, dude, that's Real1. I recognize him. And I was like, yeah, man, we're going to do a podcast. They were like, no way, you know, they stuck like hardcore, like, you know, I'm talking like people my age that just obviously like.
Yeah, you never know who's a wrestling fan until you're in a picture with a wrestler.
Yeah.
You never know.
They come out the woodwork.
Yeah, they do, man. It's funny. It's a niche market, but we got some fans for life. And I wouldn't even say it's like an American pastime, like I reference baseball and Pizza Hut. Yeah. But
I would.
I would. It's a pastime on a world and global level. It's not even America. It's a tradition that holds true in the UK and, you know, in Mexico and Japan and Canada, America, you know. Global audience, global appeal, because when you're telling a story in wrestling, the bell goes ding, 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 and no matter who you are in that crowd, you don't need to know what language we're speaking.
Yeah, that's true.
A wrestling match is a universal language. It's like watching a sport. You don't need to be able to speak English.
Yeah, man. I saw this documentary in the UK regarding this and the whole aspiring, like humble beginnings of like British wrestling. Do you ever check any of the old school like British wrestling?
Oh hell yeah, man! There's a guy
Big
named
Daddy and all that, you know.
Around your way named Johnny Saint.
Johnny Saint. Yeah, early doors, like old school cat. Yeah.
I used to call that. They used to go in rounds in Europe. So like a lot of the European UK style wrestling that you know was primarily like Great Britain, to my knowledge at least. I don't want to sound like you know, knowledgeable at things that I'm not.
But this is your sport, though.
Yeah, I got to, you know.
You know your shit.
Decent little, you know. But basically, like, they would go in rounds and, you know, as opposed to 1, 2, 3 being the, you know, finish to a wrestling match in America here. But, yeah, there was world think it was called World Sport. They had some incredible talent. It was a different style. I studied it when I was in Tampa in 2012, 13 is when I kind of got into it, and I was going back and watching all these YouTube videos of these world sport wrestlers that were just doing things that were different. And it's funny because the character that I played on TV, so to say, like, man, like, I never used any of this stuff. Like you can go back and watch World Sport and have your mind blown. Watch these guys, you know, doing lucha libre and Mexican and Japanese and a different style of work
with the masks and everything.
Man, I was WWE bred, boy. I was. I loved wrestling since I was a kid, but for the propaganda. And for instance, like I went to go see a wrestling match when I was a kid at Madison Square Garden. Okay, and there was probably 15 matches. 8 matches, whatever it was. The only thing that I remember that night was Diesel, the 7-foot-tall wrestler, beating Bob Backlund in 8 seconds. That's the only thing I remember as a kid. Now you fast forward to when I become a pro wrestler, and that's how I used to treat my job as a wrestler. Now, you can go out there and have a 20-minute match. Nobody remembers it at all. Yeah. Nobody remembers shit you did. Think about all the people that I watched wrestle that night that hurt themselves. Body was hurt.
You remember the 8-second one?
Yep. And I only remember the 8-second one. So I kind of took that approach in what it is that I did, and I just made myself unique and different. That I was an eyesore. So when you came to the arenas and you were watching the show, and I came out and I did my entrance, I just wanted to make sure that I introduced myself every time, and you remembered who the fuck I was.
That's sick. That's awesome, because that's almost like the punk aesthetic of going in. Like keep it short, keep it brief, bang, 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 out. All the signatures, all the tackles, everything just done in like quick time, quick fire.
Oh. It was Sorry, I'm trying not to speak with my mouth full.
So it's all isn't it?
It was so much so much that went into what it is that I did that can't be explained to the general public. That you'd have to be a fan of the business that I was in to really engage and understand it. You know, it was theater at its very best. It was one of the purest forms of entertainment that still exists on our planet, and one of the most difficult ones at that. And,
for real.
It was super cool, bro. I'm glad I had the experience, but I'm not itching to get back in a ring, brother. My body is broken from that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there's got to be some.
Yeah, it was rough, dude.
Is there any more pizza? Any more pizza around the back? Yo.
Oh, you wanted another slice?
Yeah, man.
Well, I'm working on that. See, I was smart enough to bring 3 over here to the podcast. You hear that? That's an alarm going off. Yeah. That's how you know it's a good life. When you set an alarm for 12 p.m. and the song is "Power" by Kanye West.
You know it's pizza time. Yeah. You
Cheers,
must have
mate.
Cheers, brother. Yeah, this is awesome. You must have endured so much shit, like in the ring, like being hit and beat, and things that probably were unplanned and shit.
Oh yeah, you get thrown for curveballs, left and right, and that's a saying in America. A curveball. I don't know. Y'all play cricket, not fucking baseball, but let y'all know.
We all know when something goes wrong, what a curveball is.
Yeah. So enough about the wrestling, man. Let's talk about the here and now. Let's talk about what's good, what's popping, and you know, we got this opportunity to sit down. It's a rare opportunity. You know, grew up in the UK. You're out here in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, man.
Rare opportunity to link up with me out here because I'm a bi-coastal cat living in New York City and LA. So I'm back and forth.
Back and forth. Jersey as well, isn't it?
That's where I grew up. So when I said New York City, it's because I typically fly in and out of New York City, but I grew up in Jersey, man, right across from New York City and Bergen County. So most people would equate it to where the New York Giants and Jets play football.
Oh, sure.
American football, the Red Bulls, for your soccer fans out there, boy. But, yeah, so, I mean, if you can imagine how close we are to New York City when the New York Giants and Jets play football.
Oh, it's a
So
city
MetLife
event.
Stadium is in New Jersey, but it's where New York sports take place.
I think with a lot of comparatives, like particularly with the World Cup happening at the moment, sports and things like that bring cities together, bring people together. With LA, I find it's
Bring
quite
the freaking world together.
with the World Cup, yeah.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to things like a big game, like two opposing like teams from the same area of town, it's like you're kind of bringing it all together. And I think that's a lot to be said with football, soccer in the UK as well. It's like,
Oh my God, you guys are the craziest fans of all time.
why do you think they never connected? Why do you think soccer never really connected as hard as any other sport in the US?
I really can't call it.
Neither can I. It doesn't make sense.
Man, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Because you think because Brazil, like, bang, they're so into it. Like,
Yeah.
all of South America.
I seen this guy on TV making a pitch the other day about re-educating the youth on how to play soccer in America.
Yeah.
Because the game is so oftentimes around the world performed barefoot in very shitty circumstances
Yeah.
with simply a ball and two posts.
Yeah.
And these guys like Pele and Lionel Messi, these guys grew up playing like barefoot soccer in the streets with no rules and
Aggressive,
shit.
yeah.
Aggressive, like in the street, you know? And nowadays in America, they're not playing the game of soccer.
No.
They got a coach. They break up into youth leagues and they do drills and they practice. Man, the game is real simple. Drop the ball on the ground and let's play soccer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And when you're a little kid, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. And that's what they do a lot of the times at American sports. They try to make it so organized to the point where, yes, there is organization. Yes, we have teams. But then you show up to practice and it's like breaking people off into different positions. You play forward, you play midfield, you play this, that, or the other. And, you know, we just are running drills and not playing the game.
No, exactly.
Just keeping its purity.
Is that just for maybe that's for spectators' point of view, because sometimes I guess they need to know that with detail and clarity what the fuck's going on. One thing I will say is I noticed that because there's a lot of Super Bowl games are being played in London now. They're exporting them over as if like it's like the 50.
Yeah, you guys have what?
State, yeah.
You guys have what? What arena is it that you guys? Was it Wembley?
Wembley, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've performed at the O2, and the smaller Wembley arena.
Yeah,
that's a basket like the size of equivalent to an American basketball stadium
I know the one, yeah.
arena.
Yeah. Greenwich. Yeah. It's I like what I grew up. Actually, I grew up learning American football. For some reason, I was infatuated with American sports as a kid, and I was one of the few kids that.
Well, how old are you now?
Well, I'm 39.
So how could you not be infatuated with sports?
Because I was an 80s kid, man. It's
No,
like,
you
it's all
grew
got.
up looking at Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly, and things like Joe Montana and people like that. Like that was that kind of era.
Yeah.
And I just grew up. I learned how to play American football. So when I see it now on TV, it's like, well, about time, you know. It's being played over here, you know.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I wish that the sport would blow up overseas, but honestly, man, I think that football has almost taken a few steps backwards over the past 5-10 years due to the amount of injuries that have been sustained by some of its, you know, best athletes and people starting to retire earlier than ever before. And that's like something people don't realize, like, it's so crazy. The pressures that come from the outside looking in from fans or you know, business associates or you know, teammates. I'm sure the pressures just reign and the money that's involved and the money that you'd be walking away from. But you're seeing guys more and more in the NFL retire after 5 years, 10 years. You know, like guys playing for 10, 15 years in the NFL, just you don't see it anymore.
That's right.
And after all this CTE, concussion research that they've done, you know, people are more hesitant to throw their head and their body on the line, you know, for years and years and years at that level, man. Like you're talking about the greatest, athletes maybe on earth athletically just trying to kill each other with a helmet, and that helmet is a weapon, dude. Like the game of football used to be played without a helmet.
Oh, it's like
leather.
rugby, isn't it? Yeah.
It was like rugby. And what's the thing about rugby is that, guys aren't hitting each other as much as they're trying to tackle each other and bring each other to the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Really the aim.
And that's the game of football is tackle the guy with the ball, bring him to the ground in America. But we live for that big hit. That ball coming loose, that guy getting his head knocked off.
That's such a crazy... Yeah, you're right. That's an analogy in itself, isn't it? We're, as spectators, we're waiting for the ball to move. On the ground there, they're waiting for them just to knock, the next knock, getting them down.
They're just hitting the hell out of each other and trying to kill each other out there. And, that's why I was saying, you could draw the correlations to what it is that I do. I'm 31 years old. I got a lot of fans, people, and family and friends and pressures coming out the woodwork to get back into a wrestling ring.
I was going to say, there must be, on those days where you do have a, unexpected knock, you must be thinking to yourself, shit, man, this is a lot. Because then you get the pressure from the fans. They're going to be super hypercritical about what you've done or what might have happened. And you're like, in your mind, it's like, well, that wasn't even reformed. That just happened. And then you've got the pressures of work and the barriers.
Well, I'm saying the pressures to come back to the wrestling world and to be in the ring again and on television and in a prominent way, or maybe like in some form or capacity involved in the business of pro wrestling. I mean, the pressures are there. People got to realize that, like, after 31 years of life, I have witnessed and bore witness to a lot of my heroes in the business of pro wrestling and saw the way that they walk around, the way that they carry themselves. And some of them are, mentally broken from the business over the years, concussions and things like that, scrambled. It's just, to me, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed to have walked away from that world, that life, with my mind still intact.
Real.
My body still, granted, I've taken a few licks on this old thing right here, but I'm still, I'm moving forward, and so I can't complain, man.
You don't really. I'm the same with music, because when I'm with beatbox, it's just you on your own on stage and your beatbox. I remember back in the day, especially like when I was like mid-20s, I was so paranoid about what damage I might be doing as a one-person show, and you're really looking out for yourself the whole time. Like, there's not a lot of people that will look after you physically, so it plays on your mind sometimes. Well, it did with me anyway.
Hitting the road as a beatboxer will play with your mind.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah.
Body's banged up, dude. Don't know how I'm gonna get through this one.
I mean, it certainly isn't on any other level. But things like my throat, for instance, and the way that I was like doing something that was so different to what any other singer and stuff was, and they keep on coming up to me going, "Man, does that damage your throat? What you're doing there?" And then after a while, it sort of like plays on your mind. Like, oh, I don't know, actually. Is it? Do you know what I mean?
No, I try not to think about the problems of today.
You don't worry too
and
much
not
about
even
it.
focus on the ones of tomorrow. Keep the ones that are in the past as well. You know what I'm saying? I live my life without thinking about things like that.
Oh, no, I don't anymore.
I don't ever, I wasn't even thinking about the damage I was doing to my body when I was in it as a pro wrestler. Thinking about, oh my gosh, you only get one of these, dog. This body of yours. They ain't giving you a refund on this thing, dude.
Yeah.
You're just beating the hell out of yourself, and you're not even thinking about, the long-term repercussions of the physicality of what it is that we did. And that's why when I step away from it and I step into this world of music now.
That's what I was going to say to you. Because
if somebody were to ask me what I do for a living, I'd tell you I was, a rapper.
Yeah, I know.
That's the answer to the question now. If you were to ask me, a year ago, I would have said I was a pro wrestler, I've always been an entertainer, though, so that's the common ground here. So.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of great things, especially on Instagram, of things that you're up to music-wise. It seems to me like it's quite a calling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What was that? A calling or a cooling?
A calling.
A calling?
Like a call to the
Well, we can use a cooling out in this bitch, dude. You came for the hottest day of the year, man.
Dude,
110 degrees outside today, baby.
I was saying, man, like this morning I woke up to like, it was literally all the fans were on and it was just like, it was like a hairdryer.
Oh, you were saying that one of your homies ain't got no AC busted in the crib, huh?
Killed me.
People are dying around here. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
Was it 109 degrees or something?
Bro, you could cook, a steak on the fucking on the fucking hood of your car right now, dude. No questions asked.
For real.
But yeah, you were saying quite a calling.
Yeah.
Calling is pretty much what I would call it. Yeah. I would call it a calling. It's calling my name since I stood two, brother. My pops is a DJ.
You DJ'd too, right?
Yeah, man. But not like. People hear DJ and they think, oh,
He's a DJ, yeah.
Man, my dad is a wedding DJ, bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, corporate events, you name it, right? Entertainer of children, adults. You go out there, he leads you in the Macarena, the cha-cha slide, the Cupid shuffle,
yeah.
He'll hand, he'll do musical chairs with the kids.
Yeah,
and,
man.
And, he'll play the wedding song and introduce the bride and groom at the wedding, you know what I'm saying? So...
The all-rounder.
Yeah, man, he was an MC, a maitre d', MC, DJ, so to say. And I grew up with that and not having realized like how much it was shaping and molding me into the person I was becoming. My father was very big into comic books and Marvel and Spider-Man and stuff like that. He collects comic books still to this day and action figures and stuff. He's a different guy, but when I was a kid, he would take me to like comic cons and take me to pro wrestling shows.
Those places are crazy.
And man, I loved it as a kid.
Man.
Like nostalgia shows, like go see the DeLorean from the Back to the Future, and it's pulled up at the Javits Center in New York City, or you're over in Madison Square Garden and watching the wrestling show, or Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, and they got Rocky Balboa doing a signing, and Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's the bit I love.
So my pops used to do it. He was the best dad ever. He used to take me to all that stuff, and I didn't realize I'm going to these wrestling shows. My dad's a DJ, so while he's over in the corner and he's making his mixes on mixing records onto cassette and dubbing them and burning them onto CDs and recording his mixes. I'm sitting there playing with my action figures. These mixes are happening in my ear, and I'm not even paying attention to it. This is just normalcy. I'm not even thinking about it. Subconsciously making me Smack Talker Skywalker, microphone lightsaber for a hater, the pro wrestler with a hip hop influence, heavily influenced by music, and wrestling and music were such a huge part of my childhood that it molded me to become this pro wrestler who holds a microphone talking crazy. So
that's awesome, and it's really cool that you explain the correlation between the two, because if that background as a kid and how that thing will clusterfuck into one big kind of wouldn't have ever guessed that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like every kid's a product of their environment, or that, you can't call it. Why do good things happen to bad people? Why do bad things happen to good people? Why are kids that grew up in circumstances that are so terribly, rough that grow up, persevere, become, good human beings, husbands, fathers, wives, and go on and have children that make a difference in the world, or they go on to cure diseases and things like that. And they came from obscurity. Then you got your kids who are spoiled rotten, who have a great life and take it all for granted. And, like, I can't sit here and tell you like I am who I am, but it's very easy to understand when you look at the realm of, your father's a DJ. You'd be out there doing the cha-cha slide with, kids when you were, 15, 16. Pops out there leading the bride and groom on the dance floor, and the wedding song and the father and bride dance, It's just crazy to think, like that, I would see my father entertaining 500, 600, 700 people at a wedding or whatever, holding a microphone, and it didn't even faze me. Like, I didn't even look at it like it was talent. I didn't even see it for what it was. I was just another day at the office, another day at work, and I couldn't wait to get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're 13 years old, you're watching your dad lead a crowd in the cha-cha slide, and
your friends are out there playing skateboard or something.
Exactly, dude. And you just want to get out of there. You think about, like, how it molds you or what, and those crowds to me were like, oh, this is nothing. Like, this isn't even a crowd. And then you fast forward, and now I'm entering the realm of the music game and stuff like that. Like, those microphones that were held by my father in front of weddings, in front of 500, 600, 700 people, like, I didn't realize, like, that's a skill that a lot of people can't do. Orate. Hold a microphone, public speaking.
Right, yeah.
I didn't realize it was a skill.
You just thought it was a given.
It's just second nature to me. It just came so, I didn't even think about it. You know what I mean?
That's just, it's a gift. It's a fucking gift.
Yeah, and it's certainly a gift that you can work on and get better at. I saw so many people come through the doors in the WWE that had no, like, rhyme, reason to what it is that they were doing as far as a character goes and trying to find themselves as an on-screen personality. Yeah. And I remember seeing a few people going, oh, dear God, this guy is terrible. Like, he or girl is terrible. They're never going to have a chance in the business. Like, no chance in this business of making it. And then 5, 6 years later, they prove you wrong. And they learn how to cut a promo and speak on a microphone and do things that did not seem natural to them.
10,000 hours suddenly kicks in. Because I've seen how they do that with the trailers when they do the kind of announcements they're going to be fighting XYZ dude. I mean, they're literally put through their paces of like, come on, you got to say it like this, more like that. Isn't there? There's like a coach for that.
We used to be coached for it. So I was coached by Dusty Rhodes, who's one of the greatest in the history of the business on the microphone, and that's the American Dream. Dusty Rhodes, he was badass, man. He used to have an acting class that we used to go to like every week when we were in. It was like, dude, it was such a crazy life, man. It was like so many guys took it for granted. I feel like that we worked with, but man, I certainly didn't, dude. Like, I mean, don't get me twisted. Like, there was days where I didn't want to be in promo class. Dusty would go on a tangent for 45 minutes to an hour.
Boot camp.
No, dude, nicest guy ever. Not boot camp, just endearing, enthralling, and overwhelming with just his presence. So, I mean, sitting with him and watching him and listening to him speak was something that you never wanted to take for granted. But when he got going, man, he could talk for an hour about, you just say, what did you think about that, Dusty? Somebody goes, forget it. He's talking for an hour.
But he's passion, though, isn't it? I love that.
Passion all day. That's all he was, man. He was just passion, walking around, dude. If you could have bottled it, what he had, he was lightning in a bottle. He used to say, live on the edge of a lightning bolt, living life on the edge of a lightning bolt, and that's the way you got to live it.
That's dope. Being from New York, New Jersey, like, you must have, like, come across, like, a bunch of, like, 90s rap. You must have been influenced in all that kind of rap era.
Oh, my goodness.
I bet.
Everything. Yeah. Like, it consumed me. And it's so crazy to think, like, when I think back to hip-hop and, like, the first time I was ever really introduced to it in my life, I think back to Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight. You know it?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So, it was, I remember sitting there and trying to memorize all the words over and over and over and over again on cassette. And I was in, like, kindergarten, first grade. Like, I just heard it. My dad's a DJ,
he got it before anybody.
Forget it. I mean, I was watching VHS tapes of Billy Idol music videos until the shit burnt out. Michael Jackson, the Thriller, behind the scenes
this
video,
is my era, dude. This is when I grew up.
The makeup and all that shit. Like, I used to burn those VHS tapes out, dog. I used to have to buy new ones because, man, it was a cool time for music, and honestly, I'm 31. You say you're a little older than me, but like, we are of practically the same generation. I was born in '86. We are the last generation that will have had experienced life before the technology boom. So I didn't get a cell phone until I went to college. So that means 18 years of life without a cell phone.
Yeah.
We're the last. I was 18 when I got a cell phone. So you got to understand, like, that means that the kids that were 15, 14, 16 when I was 18 were starting to get cell phones. Now all kids have cell phones. So it's just a different world, a different time, and it was pure then. And it's funny to think back, like, you know, VHS, CDs, burning CDs, you know,
but it's a warmness in
Napster.
the
I remember
heart,
when
though.
Napster came out, like stealing music and people getting, you remember, like criminally indicted and shit. Like, you're scared parents making you delete the Napster off the computer.
It's Lars Ulrich, when he was going hammer and tongs to the Metallica camp, wasn't he? At the time?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but that was an era, man, and like people don't reckon. I don't know, man. There's not just a nostalgia that's attached to the whole idea of having vinyl and having VHS tapes that you've written all over your mixtapes that you've written all over.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also a point of cultural reference, isn't it? It's nice to like have been a part of that. And I don't know, I'm not sure how much I miss it because like with Instagram and things like that, they're kind of like, they do that anyway. You kind of can make your own.
All these things do that for you now.
Exactly.
Everything is getting done for you. If there isn't an app to do it for you, you know.
One will be made to get it done for you.
Exactly, bro. So, like, it's just music is in a place it's never been before. There is more content being consumed than ever before. People are dropping, dude. Do you realize what kind of summer we've had already? All right, just think about this. Kanye drops an album, right?
5 albums.
5 albums, all right? 5 albums he worked on. One with Kid Cudi, Kids He Goes, you know him. The Nas album. Crazy shit is Nas drops an album. The next day, Jay-Z and Beyonce drop an album, right? A$AP Rocky dropped a record. KOD, J. Cole dropped a record. Drake just dropped Scorpion, bro. They named a constellation a fucking animal after it.
With Michael Jackson featured.
Featured Michael Jackson on his... That's what I'm telling you, man. Like,
Crazy.
the Future just dropped an album the other night, I heard. Out of nowhere. I didn't no advertising, from my understanding. You know, you got...
6ix9ine.
Ray Shremmer just dropped an album. Both you got 6ix9ine just dropping, you know, Billboard topping top 100 track after track. Everything he touches is
animal.
Crazy. So, like, I mean, and that kid's a pro wrestler, by the way.
Is he?
I mean, if you don't see it, you're blind.
No, I see that he's been playing a lot of soccer whilst being out in Europe. I can see he's
Brother,
like a
that
competitive
kid.
dude.
No. That guy is the definition of a pro wrestler because a pro wrestler is propaganda.
Yeah.
Wrestling isn't real in the sense that the outcome's predetermined and we're manipulating the audiences to engage and react. So we want your reactions. That's what we are in the business of. And to solicit a reaction and be able to garner it the way that you want the response is a pro wrestler. All right? 6ix9ine is out here just blowing smoke up everyone's ass. And he's got the world on fire. So why wouldn't he? Like, he just keeps laughing at everyone. He is the one manifesting his every move. You know? Like, if he is doing something, he knows about it, and he knows he's going to make headlines. In wrestling, you know, there's a famous saying that one of, you know, somebody in our business made a lot of money selling a book, Eric Bischoff, called Controversy Creates Cash. And that's what 6ix9ine is. He's a pro wrestler. He's on there just calling out his opponents all the time and talking about how great he is and how he's the best. And
dude, this has just been like what you've just explained there. Just like suddenly
marketing.
Yeah,
it's
just,
marketing 101 in my business.
In your business, yeah.
In my business, but he took it to a platform that it hadn't really been taken to yet. We've seen guys like in the culture, for instance, Fatboy SC, like he does a lot of confrontational physicality seeking Instagram content and YouTube and social media platform content that captures the viewer's eye because it is controversial, right? And 6ix9ine took that approach in music and garnered and eliciting ridiculous reactions all over the internet.
Viral.
But understand it's clickbait. So every single time you say his name, good, bad, or indifferent, it's a good thing because that motherfucker is making money every time you say his name.
Yeah.
You know, I hope it tastes shitty coming out of your mouth, you know, because it tastes fucking great to him. You know what I mean? Like, give me a break. Like, you got to look at it like this, all right? I'll give you a real simple example. One way to look at it. Phoenix, I made this music. I made this song that I dropped on World Star Hip Hop. It's a music video called Phoenix, right? And there's fans out there and former wrestlers and people in the business of pro wrestling who make videos of them watching my video, which
as a reaction.
A reaction video.
Yeah.
Like they make a video of watching my video. It's a reaction video, right? Some of these videos have thousands and thousands of views. Thousands of views. Some people are making videos just talking about me and they get thousands of views. But every single time that Phoenix plays in their video, whether they're talking about my reaction or they play a snippet of my song, whether they're talking good or bad about me, TuneCore or your distribution in general, whether that be Audio Salad, who I use, or whoever it is, they have software that monetizes every single time.
Gotcha.
Like Kazam. You ever heard of the app Kazam?
Oh, Shazam.
Shazam. You're in the fucking subway and a song is playing over the radio and you don't know what the name of it is, so you whip out your app, Shazam, right? And it tells you the name of the song. Well, every single time that my song plays on the internet, every single time it plays on the internet, I'm making money. Yeah. So you want to talk shit about me and make videos talking about my music and shitting on me?
Do it.
Go ahead.
Go get it.
Do it, man. Jesus. That's the that's the understanding on a larger scale of what it is that like 6ix9ine's doing, man.
He's just killing it. Like, and then the comparative that's drawn between wrestling and back in the day, how it used to be hype. It's a hype machine. The whole thing is hype machine. That's blown my mind, dude. That's blown my mind. And also the reaction video thing. Yeah, that never actually crossed my mind to the detail.
Yeah, you want to make
algorithms work.
You guys want to make a fucking a video playing my song and shit on me?
Go get it.
Thanks, baby. Just thank you.
Dude.
That's views, man. That's
for real.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's dude, it's just it's understanding how the manipulation and of social media can benefit or ruin you. You know what I mean? Like I'm a product of that as well. You know, I had a tweet and an allegation made against me garner a firing. I lost my job because of a tweet. Because of a tweet.
I hear things like that a lot. They happen like that.
But then I got vindicated, redeemed myself on a public scale that was unprecedented and had support rain in from, all sorts of, all different walks of life and fans from all different countries.
Stepping up and,
Man, the love and the outcry of support that I got, because, I think that people they kind of saw the writing on the wall of this situation that I was involved in, that it was wrong. It wasn't right. It was not true, and I didn't deserve it. So, when you couple all those things together and it happens to you, like nobody's perfect, but when you know in your heart that you're a good person, you don't have any qualms, queries, or question marks in your own brain as to is this going to all work out? Oh, hell yeah, it's going to work out. There's going to be a silver lining in all this. And sure enough, there is, man. And that's where I'm sitting today. It's like I'm making music now. I'm free. I got the opportunity to get my mind and my body healthy, which is something, means so much to me over the 6 years of my career. Having to take a step away from that, looking at it outside of the box
Yeah.
for the first time and going, whoa, dude, you accomplished more than you ever would have dreamed.
Sometimes you got to step out. You have
like
to. Yeah.
in your lifetime, you have done more in your lifetime than a 10-year-old, 15-year-old Eric would have ever dreamed of, bro. Like,
Isn't it good?
You did it, dog, and you ain't got shit to prove to nobody, not yourself. You proved it to yourself, and that's the only one that really matters. And when you know that you got what it takes to make it because you literally made it, you can't, in the way that I made it, the way that I made it. Because you understand, a 5'10", 190-pound pro wrestler, dude, becoming one of the biggest stars in an industry of giants, the Hulk Hogan's, the Rocks, the guys that exist nowadays that are just specimens and ridiculous. Like, I was an anomaly in my business that shouldn't have existed, like a little dude that, and getting the fans, and that I owed my job and my livelihood to the fans that made me, it made me who I was. But, at the end of the day, bro, like, I look at it and I'm like, bro, holy shit, bro. I can't believe that happened to you, bro. It's like you're talking to yourself in the mirror, like, whoa. Sometimes you just gotta like grab your action figure and look at it and be like, yeah, you good, dude. Like, I don't need to fall on my ass anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
it's humbling, man. It's a good thing to, and I think stepping outside the bubble for a bit. And
man, I need to challenge myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always challenged myself, and after main eventing the Cruiserweight tour, and taking that show on the road with WWE 205 Live, and having done WrestleMania and fought for the tag team titles against the Hardy Boys, and been in the ring with Shawn Michaels, my hero as a kid, and sitting down with Stone Cold Steve Austin to the point where now I have a rapport with the guy and I could call him, meeting guys like The Rock, sending tweets out and showing support for me, and it was just all too good to be true.
Craziness.
What? Like, what happened to me, bro? So I'm good on it, man. I'm just out here, and I'm going to challenge myself to do something new, different, and I think that the people that support me in wrestling will probably support me now in the music.
Yeah, that's right. Live and direct in here.
Let me grab a little, hit a little beatbox, bro. I'm going to go grab some diet soda.
Go and get it.
I'ma fly the block with all that shit.
I'm looking to come over to the UK potentially at the end of this summer, beginning of the winter here, fall maybe.
Are you going to record? Are you going to do some recording? You got some producers and stuff?
I'd have to think about the people I know in the UK that could help me make music over there while I'm there. I mean, I'd bring a microphone with me on the road.
Oh, holler at me. I'll sort you out, man.
Oh, there it is.
I've got some gang inside.
I got an offer to do a show in Manchester, I believe, 800-seat capacity arena. It's very tempting. It's hard to turn up. I've yet to perform as a musician or a rapper or singer, rocker, whatever you want to call it.
Like a way, can you like be like a warm up before the show? So like you have a performance within the ring that's like you and a DJ or something like. So you're like a warm up act before the main kind of sport event.
Oh, I ain't fucking wrestling anymore, dog. We just had that discussion for the past hour.
So what are you doing in Manchester? So what are you doing in Manchester then?
No, I have an offer to fill the building for music.
Oh, right. So, okay, so you
People
have a
want to
show.
see me apparently perform music in Manchester.
Right. Damn.
I didn't know that. I wasn't aware.
Sorry, my
don't.
wires are crossing now. I was like, oh, man, I didn't think he was resting. Maybe it was some sort of like...
I got an offer to do some music and some appearances over there that I think I'm very, very endeared.
Yeah, you should totally do that.
I would love to, just because I've been there so many times and it was never on my own terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so now, like, because you're doing music, you know that you're going there for a furthering a progression of career that suits to where you want to be.
Yeah, but it's what I'm saying is, when I went over to London or the UK, I had a Monday Night Raw, or a pay-per-view
Schedules.
or a live event wrestling every night on a private jet, going to a different city every single night, like from Spain to Ireland to Germany, just everywhere in Europe. So I rarely got those opportunities to breathe when I was there, take it all in.
Yeah.
And I want to get over there and just and do it like a real tourist and just be genuine in it. And like, honestly, like I'm the type of cat who would book a flight overseas by myself without telling many people.
Yeah.
I would have to tell my manager or my agent, because
Well,
people are gonna be like, "Hey, no, man, we need you to make money while you're over there." Like, you need to make money. You need to be performing. You need to be doing pop-up stores and selling T-shirts and signing autographs and kissing babies and shaking hands. You know what I'm saying? But I just, the music thing is brand new to me. The world of it.
Exciting.
It's very exciting.
How cool is that? Once you get over there, you totally. I mean, aside from the show, which I'm definitely up for coming and checking out.
Man, I might get you on stage, dog. You might have to open that bitch up for me.
Let's do it. That'd be awesome. And then we'll get the studio together. When you come down to London, set up.
Hell yeah.
Set up. There's loads of producers I know. You'll vouch for me. There's tons of producers.
Badass, baby.
Man.
Badass, man.
Make it happen. That has to happen.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure,
if you're
dude.
that far side of the world, you should be just like...
Hell yeah. Well, I am an Irish citizen. How about them apples?
No way.
My grandmother and my grandfather were born in Ireland. So because I was one generation gap away, meaning my mother, her parents were born in Ireland, I was able to apply for citizenship. So I received dual citizenship, a passport to Ireland. And the first time I ever stepped into Ireland, I was already a citizen of the country, and I had never been there in my life.
No, you're clear.
And you know why I did that? Just so I could beat the line at customs every time I flew into Europe.
You're clear, dude.
I would sit there and watch all the Americans waiting online in the WWE.
Yeah.
I'm walking in the country like I lived there my whole life, like Spain. Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
I love that.
European guess.
That competitive one-upmanship right way to the gate. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't got time to wait in lines.
Yeah, that's the one. Well, listen, we're going to wrap it. We'll wrap it.
All right, badass,
You know what I mean? Because
baby.
we'll leave it there, because what we'll do is when you come over to the UK, we'll do the do. We'll put the monies where the mouth is, and we'll make that happen.
Hell yeah, baby.
Yeah,
Let's get the money, dude.
Yeah, believe that.
All love, baby.
The real one.
All love.
Killa Kela Podcast. You stay lucky now. Stay out of trouble, all right? Peace.